Good evening. This is me, and I'm doing a video where today what I'm going to be doing for my video is I'm going to be doing three 10-minute videos. Okay. Now, 3 10-minute videos I'm going to do. The reason I'm doing 3 10-minute videos is 10 minutes times 3 is 30 minutes. It's really the ideal length that I want to make for a show. This video is sort of the intro of the show. Okay. What I'm going to attempt is to do a video, or rather a show, about my good friend Sam Phillips. So I'm gathered up some material about her. I know it sounds like I'm trying to blackmail her, but I'm not. But then again, not like it really would matter. I'm just knowing anything that would really scare her. I'm going to do a video in honor of her. Okay, now the reason I'm choosing to do this is for two reasons. One, Sam is a very good friend of mine, and second of all, this is someone new, and I think that I think this is someone I'd love to do shows about. Okay, so I'm going to do a show about Sam today, and I'm going to air some videos and slides or whatever if I can come up with some. And this show will be in 3 parts, 3 10-minute parts. So it'll essentially be a show. Okay? It'll be show length instead of just a video. You can actually say that this is an actual 30-minute show in 3 10-minute parts. Okay? Alright, now without further ado, let's start the show. Okay, now you're probably wondering why I chose to air that video instead of just sitting in front of the instead of just airing it in the cam. Well, the reason I didn't do that was because I wanted to see if I could learn. Here, I'll make the thing big again. See here. The reason I didn't make the video, I made that video instead of putting it in, doing the intro right into the cam, is because I wanted to make sure I could learn to do videos with the iPhone. I wanted to learn to do videos from the iPhone. So that showed that I was able to do that. So for future, I probably won't do something like that in the future because it doesn't seem necessary. Because I can just air. I can just talk right into the iPhone. But let's say I'm doing a cam, I can do videos directly from my iPhone and then put them on here. So that's just why. It's interesting what you can say about Samantha Phillips. I've known her for a few years, and the first time I met her, or actually even spoke to her, was I think it was, she was doing a radio show, and I called in, and I was so out of place. I mean, I was so out of place I got on her nerves a little bit. I don't know if I got on her nerves so much, but I was really out of place, and there's a lot of stuff about radio that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that it was rude to call in every 3 weeks, every week. That the show was aired. I didn't know this. I didn't know that it was rude to do that. I didn't know that it was rude to follow to go by that rule. Now, as you'll see, the cam is going back and forth. Okay, so that's something that we're going to learn about as time moves on. As time moves on, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to start to mention a little bit less about what's going on in the background, and more and more about what's about the content itself. And what I've noticed is as I've gotten to know Sam, I found her to be an extremely open person, an extremely brave person, which is unusual. A lot of people who are not a lot of people are that brave. And I read her biography, I've read her description of her life, I've read things about her life and everything, And I'm not going to go into details about what's happened in her life. You'll have to listen to her show and go to her podcast to get that information. But I will say this: I don't know if I would be so brave after having had the stuff that's happened to her if it happened to me. You know, I would probably be in a mental institution somewhere if the stuff that happened to her had happened to me. I'd be a mess. I really would. I would be a mess. I mean, I am. I mean, she'll say this on the show, so I guess it's okay to say it. I mean, she was kicked out of her house when she was in ninth grade. She was, you know, she was really just, she's been through a lot. And I wanted to do this show in honor of her, and it was just, it's something to think about. Not a lot of people could be that brave. Not a lot of people could be that resilient, that ability to bounce back, or when things are that rough or whatever. Because this is not something that a lot of people could do. And being that resilient is an admirable trait, considering that at times, when we look at our lives, we think, well, my life is pretty okay. But then, we look at someone else's life, like Sam, who's been through a lot. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of turmoil, a lot of trauma. And then we realize that, maybe our lives aren't so bad. I mean, Sam's been through a lot, and she's sort of like a mentor to me, She is someone who taught me a lot about radio and podcasting, and whenever she's seen my stuff I've done, she's always critiqued it, and in a very nice but unthreatening way. She's always given advice, very good advice, She believes in not making enemies and trying to be friends. And Sam's very open, and sound like a broken record when I say it, but when you're that open, that's something to be admirable about in this day and age. A lot of people are afraid to be open. A lot of people are afraid to talk about certain things that she's not afraid to talk about. People look at her and they compare it to Howard Stern. She's different. She's unique, I mean, I haven't met a whole lot of people that are that brave or that open, It's, what I'm going to be doing, later on, you'll see a video of her that she told me it was okay to upload. So I'm going to upload it. But it'll be uploaded in part 2 of the video. Okay. But the thing is, and this is important, is people need to learn a little bit that when things are rough, when things are bad, and things are tough, it's not always as bad as you think it is. I would hate to have been kicked out on the street when I was in ninth grade. I mean, in ninth grade, life was hard enough for me. I mean, I was very depressed. I was very down. I don't know what would have happened to me if I was kicked out on the street. Spending time on the street and spending... I mean, I always worry whenever I talk to Sam that I'm going to say something that's going to offend her. And not a lot of things really offend Sam. But that doesn't mean that Sam doesn't have feelings, I think that Sam is a brave lady, but she knows, that people have feelings, which is nice, And I hope she'll see this video and I hope she'll watch it. This is part 1, and it's just sort of it's something to think about, because I mean we're very we live in a world where we take things into perspective, and I don't know how I would have handled Sam's life. I don't know how I would have handled living the life that Sam's lived, and meaning, when I say living the life that Sam's lived, meaning going through the stuff that Sam has gone through, enduring the stuff that she's gone through. Now, if you want a taste of what she's gone through, you'll have to go and see the video. Okay? Now I'm going to stop the tape, and I'm going to go and then you'll see part 2. Alright?